Hey guys, it's Sara Oehler, Sales and Marketing Manager for SawClucks Company. You can find our company at www.sawcluckscompany.com if you're not familiar with us to learn more about our products. We are a beading wire manufacturer. We also sell tools and supplies that goes along with making beaded jewelry. Today I'm here because I'm going to do a SawClucks live design challenge. And what that means is I've received a package from a wonderful little family-owned business called, it's on the top of my tongue, Humblebeads. I just linked to it. I'm a little out of it from my travels this week, but Humblebeads, who I've known for a really long time, Heather Powers and her husband operate this company together, and I've received a package from them. I have no idea what's in the package. I'm going to open it up here with you. We're going to look at the contents inside, learn a little bit about Humblebeads and how they go about designing and making their beads. And we're going to make something, and I have no idea what we're going to make, but hopefully it'll be something fun and exciting, and we'll all do it together. So Heather Powers, owner of Humblebeads, is here with us today. Hi, Heather. So she'll be around to answer questions and just give some general information. And Heather, please do link to anything you want on your website as we're talking. That helps people to find things easily and kind of get a better feel for who you guys are and what it is that you're doing. Hey Lydia, nice to see you. So I'm super excited. So as people are joining us, I wanted to give you a quick view of what I received from Swarovski this week. As you know, and I was just showing you guys this the other day with my big Swarovski box, I get a little sneak peek at what they're coming out with. And this is their Innovations Fall Winter 2008-2019. I did see on Fusion Beads website that they have like a coming soon already listed for these items. I'm sure some of the other big Swarovski retailers do too. SawClucks does not sell Swarovski, but I often use Swarovski in my own designs. So that's why they send me little samples to work with. And so I was going to show you guys what's in the sample box. So I am going to see if I can flip down just a little bit here. This is my favorite thing. This, it's clear, so it's going to be a little hard to see. But let me see if I can get a better view in my hand here, like that. You guys, isn't this awesome? It's a pendant. And it's like a druzy cut crystal pendant. And it's going to come in like 5 or 6 different colors. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's sizable. It's a pretty big size. I'm in love with it. Isn't it just so pretty? Yeah, so I'm super excited about this. It looks like there's 2 different shapes. I tried to tag. They also send these beautiful magazines that kind of give you some inspiration. Yeah, it looks like it comes in, it's going to come in 2 different shapes, and then like I said, there's going to be a few different color options. So I'm super duper excited about that. Another thing in the box that I really liked was this guy here, which is like a 3-way connector. Can get a pretty good angle on that. I was thinking how beautiful this would be if you're doing like a long choker style necklace right up at the top, and then you hang a couple of these guys way down here. Wouldn't that be awesome? And all you need is like a little bit of SawClucks and a few beads, and you are in business. So super excited about this. I also love the idea of like looping some SawClucks and doing some fun tassel things off the bottom of these guys. So I'm going to be playing around with this for sure. They had one other item that was, you know, definitely beatable, and that was this little teardrop guy, and it has a little hole on the top and at the bottom. So it's got like a couple different options for where you can connect. The rest of these items are cool, but they aren't as beading related. Well, not for me. They need backings, basically, that you would clamp over them. They have this neat eye bead, but it doesn't have any holes. It's just a solid back. And then you would, you need a finding to kind of clamp over it, or you wire wrap it, but probably a finding. And then they have some more like cabochons and things like that. And some things that actually attach to cloth. Yeah, so some really cool stuff. Let me see. Here's another sample from the book. Some things that they're showing. I have one other good sample page with some beads and things. Yeah, so look forward to that. That's going to be coming to your Swarovski dealer, whoever they happen to be. I often get my Swarovskis from fusionbeads.com, but I know other places like Art Beads. I assume your local bead store probably will carry them. So take a look around and keep an eye out for those, because I think there's some really cool stuff on its way to you. So let's flip around. Let's go open up Heather's package and see what it is that she sent to me. Hey Sue, hey Stacy. So I'm gonna move on over to my little beading desk. So my office here in Sonoma is gonna get a makeover. I'm super excited about that. We're still kind of working on the details, but I get to actually unpack here pretty soon and like actually make myself at home. So that's gonna be really nice. All right, so I've got a package here. This is from Humblebeads. They've actually put together a coupon code for you guys. And so I went ahead and typed it out so I wouldn't have to say it a million times. I can just point to it. 20% off at humblebeads.com. You use the promotion code SFDesign20, and Friday, September 8th at 2017. So that is a great code to use. If you like anything in the package, you can run on over there and check it out in Heather's online store. So I have known Humblebeads for a little while. They, like I said before, are a locally owned small family business. It's a full-time family business, and Heather's husband Jess actually helps with the production and shipping while she does a lot of the actual design work. And they jokingly call him Mr. Humblebeads. So I don't know if Jess is out there too, but he is an important part. Heather's the face to the company and the one that we see the most, but her husband does a lot of work in the background too. There's a couple things I really wanted to point out online. Humblebeads has a Facebook page, which I linked to at the top, but they also have a private Facebook group called the Humblebeads VIP party, and that's where she does exclusive trunk shows. So you want to go there and definitely try to add yourself. And then she also does Bead Table Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So what would that be? That's 10 a.m. Pacific time, with video tutorials every week on her Facebook page. So if you go to the Humblebeads Facebook page, look for her video tutorials that she's doing weekly and try to join her live next week. You must have done one this morning, right, Heather? So we got a pretty, look at this little Humblebeads bag. It's so pretty. Best. Little canvas bag. Oh, it's even got a bead on it, you guys. Oh, look at that. It's so cute. Okay, so Humblebeads. Beads inspired by nature, Heather Powers. And again, her website is humblebeads.com. Heather has several books. She's written 3 books, actually: Jewelry Designs from Nature, Beautiful Elements, and the Bead Making Lab. So this one is about beautiful elements, which says it's creative components to personalize your jewelry. And it looks like it's metal, polymer, clay, and wire. So that would be a great book to check out. And you can do that either at humblebeads.com or jewelryandbeadingstore.com for Kalmbach. Kalmbach is the publisher of that book. Create custom wire and metal clasps, links, chains, pendants, head pins, and other components. 30 projects to try in a variety of materials. So that's gonna be something cool to check out too. Okay, so her beads are created using several different techniques, and we'll see if we can kind of identify what's what here. I'm not always the best at that since I'm not actually a bead maker. I'm just a bead user. I don't always know all the, where is this opening from? It's like a trick one. Oh, it's opening back here. So this is definitely a shape I think of when I think of Heather. These little birds are definitely something, and you can even see them here on the Humblebeads card. There's definitely one of the things that she makes pretty frequently in lots of different colors and shapes and sizes. But look at how adorable they are. Look at those 3 little birds, and then there's a nice little wire running down the center so you can see where the hole runs through them, you know, right down the middle. So this is what she says about creating her beads, and I think these are all done with canes, but let's look. The ones with the tiny designs on the beads use a technique called caning, and each color is a separate layer of clay. That's like this, I'm gonna guess. Is a separate layer of clay that is formed together to create designs. These designs are formed in tubes called canes, and each element is a paper-thin slice of cane applied to the beads. Some beads are hand sculpted and then painted. This looks like this, and tell me if I'm wrong, Heather. Is this wing like painted with a gold paint? Is that correct? Other beads I carve molds based on my sketches and make pressed beads that are hand painted. So here's another great. Look at this beautiful gold leaf. Yes, okay, good. That's so pretty, Heather. I really like that a lot. Look at these guys. So you'll see like a lot of things from nature in Heather's designs. You'll see birds and nests, but you'll see things like houses too, just a lot of sort of whimsical but like natural things that you see in everyday life that she just puts her little creative eye to. She said the leaf is made from a real leaf. Can you tell us how you did that? I would love to know more about how you did that. That's so pretty. Ooh-wee, I'm excited. So I pulled out, ooh, look at the flowers in this one, you guys. That flower right there. Yeah, Sue, I think you can order everything here right from humblebeads.com. And there's even a discount here for 20% off if you use promo code SFDesign20. So I assume everything here, and Heather, maybe you can correct me, everything here is available on your website. Is that right? Oh, Sue, you must, Melanie says. Nice. Okay, so I pulled out a few things. I had a kind of a feeling. I mean, I know Heather's work, so I didn't know exactly what she would send, but I had a general feeling that it would be some larger beads. So I did pull out some things from previous design challenges since I'm still a little packed here in my office in Sonoma. I wanted to make sure I had a little more access to things. And I also, after we finish all of this, am hoping I get a chance to do some patina on this guy from last week. We'll see how the timing goes. I did find the patina paints and pulled those out just in case there is some time for that. So I'm going to start rifling through some of the stuff I have over here from previous challenges to see if anything kind of interests me. I noticed from Green Girl Studios last week we have a couple of bird themed items that are kind of cool that might work well with some of these other items. Hi Tammy. I have a pretty long strand of turquoise that I got from Allegory Gallery, I think, is who sent this, and we didn't end up using it during the live design challenge, but I could see this working really nicely with this guy here. So why don't we pull that out and take a look at that. And any of these companies that I'm naming, you can go back into our videos section on Facebook and still watch those videos if you want to. Heather says, I love using Green Girl with my beads. They're like peas and carrots. Yeah, definitely. She really likes nature but has like kind of a whimsical design aesthetic too. So I can see how those would go together just really well. Let's see. And I have some of these that I think I bought these myself in Tucson, but I used them in the design challenge, and those could be really pretty. And oh yeah, I have a bunch of stuff still from beadshop.com. I can dump out and kind of feed off of. Did you guys see the video from beadshop.com today? I posted it a little bit ago. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, you're gonna have to go check it out. They made SawClucks earrings today that were so pretty. Look at how nice this is from beadshop.com from when I did a design challenge with them. I could see this looking really pretty awesome with this bird too. So we'll pull that out just in case we decide something like that's gonna work. They also have these cool carved butterflies that they had put in my kit. That would be neat. Oh, Anna's working on her earrings right now. Nice. Yeah, they do such a nice job. Kate is, and Emily too, but Kate is just the best at explaining things. She's so thorough and she breaks it down like really to the nitty gritty, and I think that can be so helpful. I really like these copper guys too. Those were from beadshop.com, and they had some of these kind of brownie colored crystals that could work in with some of the colors that we have here. So let's see. I really love this leaf, and it kind of melds well to me with this bird on the underside here. These I'm not so sure because of the gold. I'm not sure how the silver is gonna play with that. I like the idea of, let's see, let's bring this down here. I like the idea of this working with this. Some of those. So let's see. Do I want to make a pendant out of this, or do I want to just do long wires? Kind of the question here. Okay, so I am going to look for the right color of wire. I'm thinking about using the fluorite. which is this color here, which has like a nice kind of green hint to it. It's sort of a sage green, which I think will work nicely with the greens that I have going on here. And it always looks nice with the gold too. So let's pull some of that out. I'm gonna go ahead and clip a bunch off the strand just so that I can play around with it and see what happens here. Yeah, the butterflies are pretty awesome, aren't they? I think they're vintage. I'll have to ask Kate after the video, but I'm pretty sure, I could swear these were vintage, but I know for sure carved, but how pretty that is. Beadshop.com's got some good stuff going on. It could be cool to maybe use one on either side of this guy. Maybe something where I need to bring some greens down here if I do that. Maybe a couple of these guys. Maybe something down here. And some other green. This is a nice green from beadshop.com too that could maybe play into this color mix here. I love how these birds look stacked. I wonder if I should stack a little bird on the back of the... So cute. They're so cute, Heather. You make just the most adorable, cute stuff. I'm sure you know that already though, don't you? Put it under the bird above the leaf. Yeah, I kind of like this. And I don't know if these are big enough, so I'm gonna play around a little bit on this one, guys, and just try some different things, and we'll figure out what's gonna be the best combination here. If I do something like this down here, do I like that? I think that's a little too different. Let's pull these out so we can play around with these guys too. What a nice color combination. I love this sort of jasper color with the purples. That's really pretty. Wonder what that would be like to bring in some purple, if that's possible here. And these are in pairs, which is pretty rad. Do I like that? There we go. That's a little bit more my style. Yeah, I'm not sure on that purple bird. I'm loving the idea of purple together with this sort of red jasper color because I like how this looks, but I don't know if I'm drawing it in enough that it's making sense there. And this green is just a little too olivey for the other green that I'm using. Because I think I'm going to go up the entire back end with this turquoise from Allegory Gallery. So I'm going to work some of that in there too. Why don't we cut that open and see what that's going to be like. Do you guys design like this too? Just keep moving stuff around until you figure out exactly what you want. Let's put in a couple little green guys down there. And maybe a couple little green guys right here. And this is going to be 2 wires going up, so maybe I can do 2 on each one here. We'll see what that's like. Yeah, I kind of like this just to sit like a little baby on the back. And instead, maybe I'll do something up here. Where are you guys located, Heather? I think you're in Michigan, is that right? Is it Ann Arbor? Michigan? I'm sure people would like to know. Tammy says, I do like a puzzle. Maybe a metal spacer between the birds. Yeah, I wonder if I have something in gold. I'm just working with, I have such like limited access to my supplies. I do have this guy, which is like kind of a yellowy color. My way off to the side here. No, I don't really like that. Just like something you'd think with all the beads everybody sends me, I would have one of everything by now, but let's see if I can find. No, I don't have anything gold right here. I do have this. This one's from beadshop.com. They have kind of fun little spacers there. And here's mine. I already made a huge mess, guys. How unusual, right? And I can't find my green beads. Where did they go? Heather lives in West Michigan in a tiny town called South Haven, right on Lake Michigan. Hi from Loveland. Is anybody out there in Florida? I saw a few Floridians earlier today saying that they are preparing for the big hurricane. That sounded pretty scary. Kind of like these. These are from, these big guys are from beadshop.com. They're a little lighter, and I feel like they play just a little more nicely with what we're doing here. Okay, so let me start grabbing some wire out, and we'll see what it looks like as we start kind of connecting it all together and see what happens. So my plan is going to be, I think, to connect, this is going to be 2 wires. That's going to be 1 wire. So let's correct that. 1 wire coming up the side. It's going to connect here with an actual crimp. And then this 1 wire will go down through here and droop, droop, and there will be another wire will come down, catch the leaf, go back up, and up the other side to connect. So I don't know how these turquoise beads are going to play with these guys because they are so much smaller. Maybe we'll put one of these kind of brighter beads in. And trying to remember, I think these came from beadshop.com as well. So they're getting a super, they did a shout out to SawClucks today with their, I think that'll hold nicely. With their design. So now I'm ending up using all their beads with Heather's beads from Humblebeads today. There we go. Okay, so let's try that and see what happens. So I just need a wire to go down through here, so I don't need it to be super long. So I'm just going to cut a nice sized length of my SawClucks. I'm using the fluorite color, like I said, and I'm using our medium 0.019 inch diameter, which is 49 strands of stainless steel with a fluorite colored nylon coating. And the color is right in the nylon. I'm going to use gold-filled crimps with this, I think, since we've got some beautiful gold going on in the design. And I am going to use a 2x2 crimp, which is kind of the most commonly used diameter of a crimp bead, because you can do just one single strand through it. I'm going to go ahead and start up here and work my way back down. I think, well, maybe I'll start at the bottom here. Hopefully I have enough wire. Okay, so I am, and this is going to need a jump ring, I just realized, because I want it to hang straight. I don't want it to hang sideways. I want it to show. So I'm going to grab a jump ring real fast. That can work. I'm just going to look for one of my Vintaj jump rings. Even though they're not gold, the brass works really well with the gold, so I think that'll work just fine. Oh, and I do have some, I guess I do have some gold colored jump rings from Vintaj, so why not? And I saw, Heather, you work on a project with Vintaj. Let me see what it said. Along with teaching around the country, Heather also organizes the Adornments Retreat with Jess Italia Lincoln from Vintaj, and an annual bead cruise. That's a separate event that she plans every year. And next year is going to be their 13th year sailing. I dream of going on this bead cruise every year. I look at it and I think about it. And one of these years, Heather, I swear I'm going to go on the bead cruise with you, because I think it would just be so much fun to go on a cruise dedicated to beading and just being around other people who enjoy beading. That would be just, that'd be a dream come true. So one of these years, expect to see me there. All right. So let's see if it says what size these are. Doop, doop, doop. Of course it doesn't. So I'm not sure on the size. These are quite large. They're not a tiny. I have some smaller ones, but because of the size of the leaf, I think a bigger one makes more sense. So I don't have 2 chain nose pliers available, which is what I would normally want to use. But what I do have available is my pair of crimping pliers, which has a very flat tip. And so sometimes when I am making do in a pinch, I will use them like they are chain nose pliers. And that just allowed me to open that jump ring to the side. So you can see the little flat end there. You can grip onto things with it, which is really super helpful. Yeah, I think they're bigger than 6mm, Kristen. They're pretty big. Let's see. I'm gonna just slip that inside of the leaf, and then we'll close it back down again. You want to make sure you really close it down so that the wire doesn't slip out of there and you lose that beautiful leaf there at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to string my wire through the leaf. And don't forget, if you guys have just joined me, there is a discount coupon up here for Heather's website, which is humblebeads.com, and you can get 20% off if you use it before Friday. Okay, so I'm going to string a turquoise bead onto each wire, and then we're going to attempt to string both wires through this larger bead from beadshop.com. Again, the turquoise came from Allegory Gallery. It was in one of their design kits, so I'm not sure that they sell like the strand of turquoise itself. Probably not, I'm gonna guess. Okay, so I pulled that together like that, and now I'm gonna do a single strand of turquoise. I didn't check to see if 2 strands of 019 will go through this bird, but I was just assuming, which is not always the best way to make stuff. Usually I like to test to see what'll go through. you want to use the thickest wire you can. And obviously the colors only come in medium. Oh, good. So there's a pretty good sized hole in the beads, and you can fit 2 strands of 019 through them, which is super fun. So this is what our bottom is starting to look like. And we are gonna do one of these guys and then the little bird and see what that looks like. Up here. Little baby bird. I'm missing my little baby birds. I was gone all weekend and then I had to rush off to work this morning. So I barely got a good hug from the oldest who was awake. I didn't get to see the youngest. So I'm looking forward to getting home to them tonight. There we go. I like that. I like the little baby on top of the mama. It must be meant to be here. Okay, so I'm going to string up the side here and see what this looks like and if I feel like I need to make any changes over here. I'm not sure how this is going to lay in the center here, so we'll have to kind of play around with that to see if it's okay. Like that. Very organic. And then I was just going to connect to this guy. Let me see what that will look like. Before I do that, and this is such a good thing to remember, guys, is once you've crimped, you can't go back. So always try to check it out before you go that far. Make sure it's exactly what you want. Ooh, what's nice about this, I was just going to connect through the big holes, but this actually has little connector holes on either side. Perfect. So I'm just going to leave that there, and I'm going to string up this other side just so I can see how this bottom is going to lay and if it's going to bother me or if I'm going to be okay with it. That's quite a bit bigger of a bead, so sometimes when the beads are right next to each other like this, they just don't hang nicely. Let's see what happens here. Hey Terry, you're never too late. Even if you watch it after, I always appreciate your guys taking the time. Okay, so I'm gonna get another crimp on the other side and kind of pull it up here. Go through the little connector hole. See, Tammy says it's nice. The purple would have been nice too. I think though I'm into purple this week. It's funny how you can catch on to a color and you just get kind of excited about it. Yeah, I think the purple was nice too. And I still think, yeah, I mean, now looking at it, I do like the purple. That's what the purple would look like if you wanted to recreate this with less of the red jasper and add in a little bit more of another color. It does look pretty because these beads do bring in the purple here and there's some purple down here. Okay, so let me kind of hold this up and see what I'm thinking here. I feel like this side's a lot longer than the other side. Let's see if this is about. Isn't that weird? Did I miss something? Oh, I missed a turquoise bead on this side. Aha! That's why it's feeling off. Just a little bit off here. Why is this side so much bigger? Okay, let's string one more turquoise. I don't even know if these are real turquoise, to tell you the truth. I'll have to ask Andrew because they look like they are, but sometimes they recreate turquoise now that looks pretty realistic. Okay. Now we'll go back into the crimp. Hey Rose, no, this isn't a fish line. It's called SawClucks beading wire, and it's actually a stainless steel cord with a nylon coating. It's very flexible, and you can actually even tie a knot in it. So it can be used in a similar fashion to a fishing line, but it was made specifically for beading. So if you wanted to tie a knot, for example, rather than using your fingertips, and that was an 8-knot that I just did, you'd want to use your hands, but it doesn't work harden at all where it's knotted. It just sits really nicely. And by work harden, I mean like if you were to take a coat hanger, for example, and you bend it back and forth like a zillion times, eventually it work hardens, snaps and breaks. SawClucks doesn't do that. It can actually be pinched and it can be knotted and all sorts of things, but it doesn't lose any strength where it's knotted. So just a really neat, innovative technology for beading that my bosses created many, many years ago. It's been around for about 25 years now. What are the big turquoise flowers? Are you talking about these guys here? I don't know what these are made out of. They look like a jade to me. I got them from beadshop.com. They were in my design challenge kit a few months ago, and they've been in my drawer. And so I decided when I knew Heather's stuff was coming that I was probably going to need some other beads. I decided to pull out some beads from some other design challenges so I could kind of get those going and used. Yeah, I think these two turquoise pieces down here actually are laying quite nicely just because they are such unusual shapes. They kind of just work really nicely together there, which does not always happen. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and crimp one side, and then I can kind of decide, you know, the size for the other side. One of the things I notice already is you want to make sure you're leaving a big enough loop up here. If you try to get it too tight, it's not going to hang really nicely. So make sure you leave just a little bit of breathing room there so it just kind of hangs really nicely. You don't have to worry about it sort of making a weird connection. I'm going to use the magical crimpers today, I think. So I'm going to straighten out my wires to the best of my ability inside the crimp tube. And most of you guys have probably seen me use these before, but just in case you haven't, there is a little half dome divot on either side of the pliers that's identical. The 2x2 crimp fits inside of that just perfectly. And you want to center that crimp tube right in the middle of the pliers. Compress. If you do it correctly, you're going to get 4 little corners like a little ravioli. Turn it on its side so you can actually pinch in those 4 corners now. And again, you want to make sure it's nice and centered. And then I like to just kind of spin just a little bit, go around it plenty of times. What it's doing is it's pinching the ends of the tube into the nylon coating of the wire, and it crimps it really nicely, which I love. And I'm just going to trim using the flat side of my cutter up against my crimp tube. Get a nice flush cut. And then I can do the same thing on the second side. So on the second side, I'm going to kind of look and see. I want these loops that are connecting to be pretty similar. Again, I want it to have like a little bit of breathing room. I want it to be able to kind of wiggle around. I want them to be about the same length, you know, so that my necklace looks even. And yeah, so I'm gonna straighten out my wires again inside the crimp tube, not because it's gonna make it hold better, but because it'll give me a nice straight connection into this beautiful piece from beadshop.com. And I'm gonna go ahead and center my crimp tube again, turn, and compress. And if you want to see a real close-up version of this crimping, do go to our YouTube channel. Look up SawClucks Company on YouTube. We've got some great videos about crimping and what sizes of crimps to use and what diameters of wire. You can learn a lot on our YouTube channel. Okay, so this is the bottom of the necklace, and then I think I'm just going to string, and I can probably do this off camera. I'm just gonna string this beautiful long strand of what I think is turquoise up the back here. And I might throw in just like a couple of beads just to, like maybe one of these up here, maybe some of this. But mostly I think I'm just gonna do a big long strand of turquoise up the back and make this a long necklace. So, excuse me, let me flip the camera down and we can kind of see what that'll look like. Hi guys, a big mess. I got my necklace here is already a mess. So let me flip this down here. We can kind of see when it's down here, and then it'll have that big long turquoise that'll go up the back end, which I think will be so pretty. And then again, if you liked it with the purple, you could totally change out and do the purple bead as your top bead. And I think that would be super cute too. Sweet, this looks nice. I like it. I like it a lot. It's so easy to bead when you're working with awesome stuff. Hey Mike, I see you joined us. Mike's actually right out in the gallery. Okay, so we've got the basis of our necklace. I think we can move on to a second design, and I'll do the rest of this beadworking stuff after. Let me just tie this up, because you know me, Miss Butterfingers. If I don't tie this up, these beads are gonna go flying, and then I'm gonna cry over spilled beads. Well, I'll finish this up off camera, and then I'll take a nice picture for you guys after, okay? So one other thing I was thinking is how nice these looked together too. Possibly something here too. I don't know what, but possibly. So I got to play around with this a little bit more to get the right combination. Excuse me, I'm going to take a drink of water. I'm still trying to get over that cold I had last week. How beautiful do you think this purple bead would be with our purple amethyst SawClucks? These would be so pretty together. This is more like our tanzanite, but the contrast of the darker purple. This is our tanzanite. Oh, there it is. Normally I would say yes on the silver bird, but this has some gold on it. And I don't mind mixing metals, but in this case, I'm not quite sure how well it would work. Let's see. I don't know. I feel like these are just like not the right, they're the right colors, but not the right proportion to work together. I do like the stacked birds. I just think they're so cute. It's like little birds on a wire or something. They're so adorable together. There it is with the silver bird if you just want to get kind of a look and see what it's like. just doesn't quite feel right for me. So if you missed it earlier, there is a coupon code. Make sure you check it out. It's up here for Humblebeads website. You can also learn more about Heather at her website, as well as purchase. And she's a wonderful artist. She started making jewelry and beads in art school. Her classes in color design, painting, and printmaking have made their way into her beads, which you can definitely see there's an artist working here, because you've got just some really fantastic color combinations that I think only an artist could really put together in such a beautiful way. And of course, her biggest inspirations are nature and art history. So I'm still at a loss for what I want to do here. Something little. I do like just a simple earring too. Wonder if we should just do a pair of simple earrings that can kind of go along with this big guy here. Let's see what we got. Get out a couple of those guys. And ended up with so many things out over here. Oh yeah, these guys were really pretty. Let's see. I want a couple of those guys possibly. So I think if we're trying to match this here, we might do something like that. Let's see what that's like. Let's see what that's going to be like. If we were to do an earring that's just like builds one on top of the other with maybe some gold findings here. I wish I had more gold findings just kind of hanging out here. I might, oh yeah, I do have, I do have some of the vintage gold stuff that's brass. It's pretty. Like these guys are pretty cool. I don't think I have anything that matches for earrings though, that could just like hang at the bottom. I just have like a bunch of single items. That's pretty. I wonder if I need to go back to my original thought and we can use something from here. Thinking about one of these guys. Or the flower. Flower's really pretty. This flower would be really pretty with this, wouldn't it? Okay, so let's cut these free. Free the pendants. Okay. Yeah, vintage brass looks really pretty. I like that one, and then there was another one I liked that I was thinking about. Oh yeah, these ones. I like these ones a lot, and I haven't used them yet. So do you guys like this little gold flower? Do you like this big round pendant? I wonder if you could probably use these together. You could do 2. We could do 3 items at the bottom. I kind of like that, how they sort of overlap together. That looks kind of cool. Tammy says to use the large bead, I agree the proportions are off. If you have a bead in between that and the bird, like an amethyst maybe, like the 3 birds better. Yeah, I think so too. I feel like this is just a little too big, so I kind of started working more on like this idea, like having the bird hang above these guys, and then I'll do something kind of up here, not sure what yet, but maybe with the purple, I'm thinking rather than this fluorite color, we'll work more with the purple in this design. So I think it would look so pretty. Heather likes them clustered. Yeah, I kind of like them clustered too. Let's see. I'm going to cut a pretty nice length of SawClucks this time because I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing, and I have thankfully an unlimited supply of SawClucks. So I can do that. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'll center these 3 guys on the wire, and that way I can kind of see how they actually hang when they are strung together. I really like that. I think the overlapping is kind of cool, and I like how they jingle. You guys know how I like a little jingle jingle. So that's good too. I'm going to take both of these wires up through this bead, hopefully. Yeah, great. I'm so glad the holes are such a nice size, Heather. I love that. So I've got both wires going through there, and then I'll take both wires through the bird, and you kind of take it from here. I don't feel like this design is going to need a whole lot because the wire is going to look so pretty all on its own in this particular design. And the colors are working together really, really well. So I'm thinking I might just crimp up here and then attach in the back and keep it really pretty simple. Let me see. And that way I'll have time to do some of that patina on the Green Girl Studio bracelet from last week too. Okay, so in this case, what I think I'll do, because the holes are bigger, I'm gonna do just regular crimping, and then I'm gonna do a crimp cover to hold this in place on the wire. And so I will take both wires and string a 2x2 millimeter crimp tube, and I'm gonna string it down to the bird, and then I'm gonna take my regular crimping pliers. So the regular crimping pliers have 2 holes. The hole on the left is round. The hole on the right has a little tooth in it. I am going to crimp that hole with the tooth first. Let's see if I can get up close enough that you can see it compress. So it puts a little divot into the crimp tube. And then I'm going to switch it to the side in the rounder and compress again. And then I'll go around it a few times, just kind of tightening it all down. I feel like I'm making nothing but long necklaces lately, you guys. I guess this could be a shorter necklace. I just really love long necklaces right now. But I do have that idea for the choker with the Swarovski that I have been thinking about. I don't do chokers very often. They're not really my thing. But they're so popular right now. Okay, so I'm going to get a crimp cover, and I am going to slide that inside my crimping pliers using the rounder. You can see that pretty well. And then I am just going to very slowly, up here close, very slowly close it, and I already can see it's happening. You want to very slowly close it around the crimp tube, but if you see that it's twisting in any way, you want to stop and adjust your pliers so that you can make sure it goes on nice and straight, because when it twists, it does not look right. And it kind of slides over the top of the crimp tube. I also like to overlap it, so I just sort of tuck one side and then tuck the other side over it, and that makes it look like a really nice round bead, and I can tug on this and not worry about it sliding up over the crimp tubes. All right, I think that looks pretty awesome. So I may play around with just a couple more beads up here, but I doubt it. I'll probably leave it just purple SawClucks up the back side, because I think that looks really sweet with the sort of tanzanite bird and the beautiful sort of red jasper bead. So again, if you haven't checked out Humblebeads, I hope you'll go to their website, humblebeads.com. Stick around because I am going to do some patina paint on this guy. And this is sort of a whole separate matter from last week with Green Girls Studios. If you were here, you know I made this guy last week, but since I'm just moving into my office in Sonoma, I didn't know where my patina paints were. So I was going to go ahead and patina one of these flowers right here on the show, and with Humblebeads, and hopefully she understands. I know she's good friends with Green Girls, so I'm sure she wouldn't mind at all. But please do go to humblebeads.com after the show. Promo code SFDesign20. Thank you, Heather, for the beautiful beads. I'm so excited that I got to work with some of your beads today. You do a great job. And I'm going to clear this off so I can get to this other part of the project. But do make sure you go check out Heather when you get a chance. And the rest of you that want to stick around, let me move some things around here so that we can do a little patina paint before you head out for the day, before I head out for the day. Let's see, last week on this design, we used garnet colored SawClucks. And for those of you that didn't get a chance to watch, we crimped, we attached using multiple strands through a 3x3 crimp with a mighty crimping plier of garnet colored SawClucks. And then we just did a simple connector attachment at the end to connect to a tiara cast clasp. Kristen says, love that you were able to use some of the softer SawClucks colors today. Yeah, me too. It's fun to change it up. I actually have a very limited supply of colors here, so I'm glad the colors that I have worked so well, because I keep forgetting to bring in my boxes of wire from my home office. I'm still kind of arranging everything here. And will be for weeks to come, I'm sure. As you all know, moving is a big undertaking for sure. Heather just posted a link to her Humblebeads page, business page. Definitely look at the trunk shows. And then again, you can always catch her on Wednesday mornings, it sounded like, on Pacific time. Was it 1 p.m. East Coast time, Heather? Maybe you can post details about that. She does a live Facebook show too, with tips and information. So I know all of you guys love all the different live Facebook shows. So you guys will have to check that out too. So I picked a few colors. Last week we were talking about some fall colors for this bracelet, and the garnet being kind of a fall color. So I picked the cinnabar and I picked the rust. I do have some other colors too, so I might pull some other ones out as we go. But these patina paints are great. You just shake them up. Get it all mixed around, especially if it's been sitting for a little while. I pulled out a little bowl here. I'm just gonna pull some of this out. You can intermix it to make different colors, or you can do layers. I usually do layers. And I do have a reliefing block here, which is one of these guys that kind of scrubs off after it's dried. I do like to take a wet paper cloth though and just wipe it gently. Let me see if I can find where my paintbrush went. in this whole big mess of things that I created. Oh, oh well, maybe I'll just get a new one out. So I got a bunch of them in here from when I taught a class at Just Beat It, I think, yeah, in Concord, and we did some patinas. So I have quite a few. And I just have cheap paint brushes. You don't need anything really special when it comes to doing the patina. It's not too big of a deal. Oh, there it is. Bead Table Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. A new project every week. So I know you guys will love that. You're going to have to check that out. I'm just going to get a little bit of paint, and I'm using the Cinnabar first. And I'm just going to kind of paint a leaf, and then I'm just going to do a little wipe. Part of why I do that is because the reliefing blocks do have to be replaced quite frequently. So this is kind of a way to just like take off the top layer a little bit. I do like a little more of the metal showing. I don't like a ton of paint. So okay, I like to add a little bit of color, but I don't want it to take over. Like I like this pewter silver color still. So it's kind of a nice way just to like keep it not so overwhelming when you're adding in other colors. And I'm going to take a little bit of the orange color now too, which is rust, and I'm going to do kind of a similar thing here. Do another layer, just add some more color to it. And I'm doing more of the outside so I can kind of keep that beautiful red on the inside there. But you can see as I continue to add color, that's going to change this bracelet pretty dramatically when you've got some colors added in. And it doesn't take long to dry. I'm going to stick my paintbrush just in a cup of water over here. You always want to keep your paintbrush kind of wet. It really doesn't take long to dry at all. It dries pretty quickly. And you could definitely paint the whole surface if you wanted the entire surface to be a certain color. And some materials work better with the reliefing block than others. This has such detail that I don't know that the reliefing block is going to take off a lot of the patina, except for on this outer edge where I kind of wiped already, but we'll see once we get there. I'd say it takes maybe a minute for it to dry. I mean, it dries pretty quickly. It's also permanent, so when you do get it on your fingers, it does take a little while for it to work its way off. So that's good to remember. And I see Tracy's there. Tracy, look at the clasp. Sweet Tracy from Tiercast. This was last week's project. I'm just kind of finishing it up. So with the reliefing block, the sides, which I think they call dark gray, are the sides that you use to polish the raised pieces. And again, like when you're using something like this with such detail where it's sort of even the flower petals are cupping, if you want to make sure the whole surface doesn't cover too dramatically, you're going to want to do that immediately as it's drying. But I'm going to move on and add a little bit of color to the next one too, so they all kind of have a similar look. So I'm going to get my paintbrush out. Go ahead and clean it up a little bit so it's not quite so wet. Patty says you can use a hair dryer to help it seal it. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I'm going to use a little bit of the Cinnabar first and just paint. This is so nice if you're trying to match SawClucks colors. There's so many different colors in this patina paint too, just like SawClucks. So I really like that. And then I can go back through and actually patina these crimps as well if I want to. I think this color matches our red jasper a little bit better than the garnet, but it matches the garnet pretty nicely too. So I've got my first layer there with the cinnabar, and now I'm just going to come back in with a little bit of this. I think they call this rust. And while that one, I'm going to put just like a little bit more. Let's go over it a little bit more with this guy too, just to get a little more of that red color. And then I'm going to go on to the very last one while that one dries, and then I'll go back with the reliefing block and see if I can shine it up just a little bit more. So are any of you guys out there using the patina paints? Is this like a new thing to you too, or have you been using them for a while? What are your thoughts on patinas? I just love the idea of like being able to add color when I want it to metal. It just really, I find it very helpful. I'm liking how that looks. Doesn't take long, it's pretty easy to do. You can patina Tiara Cast, Vintage. These are Green Girl Studios pieces. Oh, Tammy says I use them on leather. That's cool. Okay, and so I'm just gonna take this reliefing block and run it over the top, and we'll see if it takes off the very top surface on some of this. And it'll also sort of polish the metal a little bit and make it shine. Like I said, when you've got some big deep grooves, it doesn't matter nearly as much, and that's why you want to use something like this, a wet paper towel that'll kind of help you keep control over the patina so it's in a place that you want it. I think that looks a lot better with a little bit more color in the metal. I think that helps bring in that fall color. What do you guys think? Ta-da! Oh. Patty says, I love the ability to personalize charms and findings. That is so nice when you can personalize something and make it your own. You know, everybody can buy this particular charm from greengirlstudios.com, but I have the one that's patinaed in these specific colors and in this specific way. So that is kind of fun to be able to do. So if you love this bracelet, you can check it out on our live design challenge video from last week. I made the entire bracelet last week, but then when it came to doing the patina painting, I didn't have my patinas available. So I'm gonna go ahead and patina this clasp real fast too. I'm just gonna throw some patina on there and rub it a little bit just to give it a little bit of color too while I'm at it. There's tons of different colors in patina paints too. Tons and tons. There's silvers and golds and blues and purples. I actually got them in a design challenge package from Vintaj. That's how I learned how to use them and really fell in love with them. Add a little bit more of this other color. Really fun. So that is going to be it for today. Thank you guys for joining me. And if you get a chance, do go check out humblebeads.com, promo code SFDesign20. It ends Friday, September 8th, 2017, 20% off. Humblebeads is what we did today. And I'll take a picture once I have everything sort of finished. So you can take a look at this guy. And then we made the beginning of this guy as well, and I'm going to bead up the back of it. So thanks for joining me to look at some of Heather's beautiful beads. Her little birds are just the cutest. And this beautiful leaf that she made too, I really love. So thanks for joining me today, and hopefully I will see all of you again soon. I'm doing a SawClucks live sale next Wednesday from Mike's personal collection. I hope I see all of you guys here to buy some really special beads from him. Rosa and I will be choosing some things in the next week, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Lots of great stuff. So in the meantime, you can check us out at www.sawfluxcompany.com. Bye, guys.